American Value of Democracy. By Eloy Lopez-Curiel, democracy is a system of government in which power resides with the people who exercise it through participation and representation. In America, democracy is essential for the protection of individual rights, the empowerment of citizens, and the promotion of political stability and accountability. It provides a framework for open and inclusive governance, allowing for the expression of diverse voices and the peaceful resolution of conflicts. Democracy is a core value that shapes the identity and functioning of the United States. Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American woman elected to Congress, who broke barriers and fought for democratic representation. Benjamin Franklin, a founding father and advocate for democratic principles, who contributed to the drafting of the U.S. Constitution. John F. Kennedy, the 35th president, who promoted civic engagement and democratic responsibility. Rosa Parks, a civil rights activist known for her role in the Montgomery bus boycott, challenging segregation and advocating for democratic equality. Barack Obama, the 44th president and the first African-American to hold the office, who inspired millions with his commitment to democratic values. Ronald Reagan, the 40th president, who emphasized the importance of individual liberty and democratic principles. Frederick Douglass, an influential abolitionist, writer, and speaker who fought for democratic ideals and the rights of African Americans. Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th president, who signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965, safeguarding democratic participation for all citizens. Andrew Jackson, the 7th president, who championed the expansion of democratic participation and representation. James Madison, a founding father and principal author of the U.S. Constitution, who laid the foundation for American democracy. John Adams, a founding father and the second president, who helped shape the early democratic institutions of the United States. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, who led the country through the Civil War and preserved the democratic principles of the Union. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd president, who guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, strengthening democratic institutions. Eleanor Roosevelt, a humanitarian and activist who advocated for justice, human rights, and social justice. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, a leading figure in the women's suffrage movement and a strong advocate for democratic principles. Martin Luther King Jr., a civil rights leader who advocated for equality, voting rights, and a more inclusive democracy. Susan B. Anthony, a women's rights activist who fought for women's suffrage and equal participation in democracy. George Washington, the first president of the United States and a key figure in the establishment of democratic governance. Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers and principal author of the Declaration of Independence, who championed democratic ideals. William Lloyd Garrison, an abolitionist and journalist who used his platform to advocate for the end of slavery and promote democratic ideals. Lucretia Mott, a women's rights and abolitionist activist who played a significant role in the Seneca Falls Convention and the fight for gender equality. Ralph Nader, a consumer advocate and political activist who has dedicated his life to promoting transparency and democratic accountability. Dolores Huerta, a labor leader and civil rights activist who worked to empower marginalized communities and promote democratic values.